But I feel that a lot of people, and I met some women specifically that way, that they're like, oh, I don't have time to network, or my business is so busy, I don't need to network. I'm like, okay, well, you do you, but connecting with somebody maybe through dance, because I dance too, through dance 10 years ago has brought so many great opportunities to my business now.
Welcome to Built in Vegas, the podcast where we spotlight the stories, strategies, and resources behind the businesses that make Vegas thrive. Whether you're starting up or scaling up, you're in the right place. Brought to you by the Video Podcast Studio.
So what kind of got you on the She Means Business
Are we recording
train?
already?
Yeah.
Oh, I was here I did not know. So, hey, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But yeah, so what kind of like led down starting the She Means Business magazine?
Okay, so She Means Business started because of my photography business. So basically what I do is that I sit down and I learn about people. I am not the normal photographer, that gets there and takes pictures. What I do is that I get to know the person first as a human. And then knowing that story, I get to photograph them in the best possible way because I already know who they are. So that's how it started for me, just learning about the stories, mostly women. So I noticed that there's a lot of women that are in business that have beautiful stories to tell, and nobody's telling them. Nobody's telling that story. So it started as a campaign, and it's a campaign that goes out every year, once a year. And last year was our first year, so we had 40 women in that campaign. And this year we have 25. And we limited for a lower number because we wanted to emphasize in a bigger scale, like we're also doing the magazine, but also we're doing podcasting. We're also doing an audiobook. So, and we're creating this and making it into a bigger thing that you're going to get to learn on October 11th.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I mean, like I said, so I don't even think I knew that you were doing it last year. I saw podcast clips and I was like, oh, dang, like, what is this?
Isn't that crazy?
And then I started seeing the photos along with it, the photo shoots you were doing. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And it was interesting. And then like, that's when I started seeing your page more too, because I was already like watching that content a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Now you pop up in my feed like crazy.
Oh, yay.
But it's good because
algorithm.
Well, it's good though, because the work is good. Like if the work sucked, then I'm like, oh my gosh, get off my page. But like, you really do a good job with the headshots that you do and pulling the life out of that person. I think, myself, I do photography and video, and I've done it for so long. Like, not many people are good at getting the personality into the photo. Some people are good at taking photos and they look good, but you don't get the life of that person coming through that photo. And I think a very select few people do a good job of doing that and getting that personality in the photo and then having beautiful lighting and stuff. And I think you do a very good job of that.
Thank you. Oh, I love hearing that from somebody that does exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that it definitely comes with a lot of experience because I've been in the business for a very long time.
Yeah, it's like when I was telling you earlier, like when people come to me for headshots, one, I barely do. I don't really do them. And so I always say, like, do you want a decent headshot or do you want a really good headshot? And they're like, well, I want a really good one. And then I give them your name and one other photographer's name in town that does a really good job at headshots. And I'm like, then go here. I can do a mediocre version, but I'm not a headshot person. And I think there's a difference between a generic headshot and the specialty that you do, right? Yeah. I think it brings it to life better. And like if you're a professional, you really get that first impression, right? Like what is it? Why do you think headshots and these photos, these brand photos, are so important for the client?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you. I think that coming from you is such a nice comment to have. So I feel that because of my experience with people, I am a experience-based photography studio, which means that whatever the client feels is more important than anything else. And how how the photos come out, yes, is very, very important. But at the same time, it's also how they feel while they are taking their photos. And as you say, it's very hard to find a good headshot that actually is telling a story, right? That is representing the person that is in that picture, and that is very important. So, but I feel that it's very important because especially nowadays, personal branding has become such a important, again, I'm using that word a lot, but it's a very important way to make business. So I know there's people that are very shy in front of the camera, but it's the essence of your business. I see you putting your face more in front of the camera, which I think is genius because people will make business with a face, not with a logo, not with a name. They will make a business with you as a person. So the more you put yourself out there, the more that people are going to come, especially if you're a likable person and you have a likable personality. So that is for what I think it is very important. So there it comes photography, there it comes video, especially now, video has become big and you see a lot of people podcasting now. So, which is great. I think the more we present ourselves as the experts, the better it will be because that's how people are going to find us.
And first impressions are so important, right? Like if somebody DMs me on LinkedIn, right? Like happens daily. The first thing I see is the photo. And if it's not like a professional photo that looks really good, immediately I'm already judging them. Maybe I shouldn't judge, but like it really does make a difference, right? On that first impression and if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Instagram, some of the first stuff they're going to see is your headshot, right? Is that photo of you. And if you don't have a photo that really represents you and looks good, right? Because quality matters. Something that happens with video and photo is we equate the quality of the image to the quality of the product or service that person represents. And so if it's a crappy, shot, immediately I'm like, oh, this person is not successful. Yeah. They're not this or that. Maybe they're not the right fit for me, which once again, I probably shouldn't judge, but being honest.
Happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of people. You don't want to have business with somebody that doesn't look good. And I've had a good story about that because I was in a conference. I was presenting, personal branding and presenting my business and why it is important to have a personal brand and And I had a booth, and there was this guy. I photograph guys too, okay? So, but mainly women, and there's a reason why. But he came to me and said, "But I don't need headshots." And I'm like, "Oh, you don't?" I'm like, "What makes you think you don't?" He's like, "Because I don't need them. I don't know. I don't have where to put them." I'm like, "Okay, so let's look. Let's look at LinkedIn." His headshot was really bad. It's like literally like, remember those Snapchat filters? Kind of, he just needed the ears and the tongue to make it look Snapchat. And I'm like, okay, so you need a headshot for your LinkedIn. And he's like, oh, maybe just for that. And then I'm like, okay, so what is the name of your business? And I Google him. And in his business, in his website, he had this AI-generated photo. I mean, I'm not against that. If you really don't have money and you really don't want to invest in your business, that's totally fine. Use AI. People probably not going to know.
No, I say don't use it. I think people will know.
I always tell people, it's like you do what you need to do, right? At least from the beginning. But then whenever you actually care, you can go to somebody that can help you to really create that brand. So I was like, well, I just demonstrate you that you do need headshots. And he booked with me that day, and he was still hesitant. I don't know why is, with men and women photographers, because he was like, oh, you are the one that's going to take my pictures. And I'm like, yes, sir, I'm the one. So he came into the studio, took his photos, and he said, I never looked this good. And those photos were not even retouched. And I said, I told you. And then he's using them everywhere. He's been in my studio twice already in less than a year, taking headshots.
Well, and it makes a difference, right? When you have a headshot you're proud of, you're going to put it everywhere.
Absolutely.
And once again, it is one of those first impressions. Like, they matter. And so finding the right photographer is really important because you need somebody who's going to make you feel comfortable. Because if you don't feel comfortable on camera, it shows. Absolutely. Like my wife, for example, she's incredibly pretty.
I know. I've seen them. I'm seeing her.
She feels incredibly uncomfortable in front of the camera, and it shows. Like, she does not. She could photograph much better if she knew how to pose, and if she felt comfortable. She feels so uncomfortable that it shows because you're tightened up. You're this and that, right? Like, you're not presenting yourself in the best way. And so finding a photographer that can really help get you out of that, right? Like really matters because like, you know, someone like me, like I'm fat, I'm ugly, like I'm gonna feel really uncomfortable getting headshots done. So finding someone that can like kind of bring that out of me is really important. Mm-hmm. Like what are some tricks that you do to like get them to kind of loosen up and like feel more comfortable?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, there is one very important rule in my studio, and it's that we don't focus in the things that we don't like. So whenever I have somebody with low self-esteem and they're like, oh, I feel this way because the clothing doesn't look good or whatever, then the first rule is, okay, let's look ourselves in the mirror and tell me the 5 things that you like the most about you. And they're like, oh, I like my eyes. I like my ears. You know, my hair is beautiful. I'm like, okay, so there's where we're going to focus. And then using those attributes, that is where we're going to actually accentuate. If you are concerned about your weight, obviously I'm not going to focus in, you know, that these poses that are going to make you look bigger. Or once I guide you through the process of going, you know, like bringing your outfits and stuff like that, then you will know that there is certain colors, there is certain patterns that I don't like patterns, especially with people that think they're bigger, you know, like I don't like patterns. So things like that I feel that those are little things that you need to know before you get to the studio. So the more prepared you are, and always tell this to people, the more prepared you are for your photo shoot, the better. You're going to be more comfortable. You're going to feel at ease. I have a client the other day, and they're like, oh, I thought this was going to be really hard, but you told me how to do it, you guided me, so I feel great. And I'm like, well, good. Now let's go see your pictures. And he loved them. But at the same time, it's like, okay, that first barrier is down because they're already comfortable with what they're wearing. They're already comfortable in front of the camera because we have a conversation just like this. You know, I'm like, okay, just tell me about you, you know, and then through the conversation, I'm taking pictures and guiding them how to pose in the best way possible.
Yeah. And it makes a big difference. You can see, I mean, like if you look at the pictures that you have, like they all look radiant. They all look happy. They all look comfortable. And once again, that matters so much. You know, why does lighting matter? Why can't I just go in the hallway of my office and just have someone take an iPhone picture of me? Like, what, you know, why does that matter?
Well, first of all, phones are not as smart as you think. You'll think that because you have good lighting, you'll still get a good photo. And it might happen, yes, if you're lucky, if your phone catches the light the way you need to at that moment. However, it doesn't work that way all the time. So once you have a good lighting, a good phone, you still need to know how to use that phone in order to get the best lighting, the best photo, right? But it does matter, especially for us, right? If we're talking about professional photography, it does matter because it will shape you. So, for example, and I've seen this in several podcasts where a mature woman like me goes and the lighting is very poor. So obviously everything, you're going to notice everything. Even with a high quality camera, you're going to notice every single wrinkle, and even the camera will create these bags under the eyes. And I'm like, that is terrible lighting. And I've been there actually a few weeks ago. Somebody did a video with me, and I'm like, oh, gosh, I look like I was 80 in that video. And I'm like, I don't look like that, right? It was terrible lighting, but it does matter. It's probably what I say to my friends and people that are getting into this is like, your background matters, but your lighting matters the most. So you need to pay attention to that lighting. And if you don't have, use a window. We all have windows. So it's very important.
Yeah, it changes everything. It changes the mood. It changes the vibe of the photo, right? You can make them look scary and mean if you do certain lighting, or really soft and delicate. And so it is something that I think people don't know, right, until they know.
Right.
And like my wife, it's funny, when we first started dating, like she learned a little bit more about lighting because she's around me, and she'd always like notice that I was always looking at lighting. Like I'd be like looking at her a certain way, she'd be like, you're looking at how the light's falling on my face, huh? I'm like, yeah, like it's just like it matters so much, right? Like, because it changes everything, right? Like,
oh my God, I love this. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it is so true. It's such a photographer. It's not a problem, okay? Just letting you know it's not a problem. But because I do that to my husband too. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, what? And I'm like, that lighting that like, hold on. And I'm like, I grab my phone. I'm like, let me just show you. The hairline is perfect. and it's probably just like the sun coming in the window or something. And it looks so beautiful. I'm like, so I can't.
Yeah,
I
no,
can
she,
totally relate.
like, he would be driving. I'm like looking at her. She's like, "Are you looking at the light on my face?" I'm like, "Yeah." I don't know. It's just interesting, like how that's hitting you. I'm just like looking around, like, okay, that's how that's created, you know. And then she starts to see certain things too. Like she doesn't understand certain things, but like in movies, she'll be like, "The lighting in this is bad, huh? Like it's just off." I'm like, "Yeah." And now she knows there's other things like the coloring. Like I'll mention something like, "Oh, like I forgot what movie we were watching recently." But they were cutting between two different angles, and this one angle was so purple, and the other one was so green. And I was just like, "How did this get passed by?" Like, she's like, "I thought something looked weird. I didn't know what it was." She's like, "It is different, huh?" I was like,
She's getting her eyes trained too. Okay,
she's starting to see it too. Yeah, I try not to do it too much anymore, or talk during films and point things out. But like that one was bad. Like it was seriously like they had so much magenta in one image and then so much green in the other. I was like.
Oh, God.
Like they're not even close to each other. I'm like, then it's the same scene, and I'm like, oh.
You know, it's really crazy that you say that because I do that with photography. But most of the clients that come to my studio are people that are going into magazines or billboards, right? So what I started doing a long time ago is that I print everything I take, especially for those clients that are going in bigger formats. Because what happens is that once you have a printed version of your photo, if the magazine comes out blue or green or yellow, I can't with the yellow, you can tell them. It's like, no, that is not the photo. And all my computers are calibrated. So that means that wherever you go, that's going to be the same colors everywhere. So it's very important for me to give them that printed version. Plus, clients love it. You know, like there's nothing like prints. Like digital are beautiful, but printed photos are the best. So it's part of the service that I provide because I'm like, okay, you have the printed photo, don't let them print it in blue. But it's so crazy, right? You do that with film too.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I was actually the other day, like our TV out front, we have like a loop going off stuff filmed in here. And I always have to explain, like, that's not what it looks like. The TV adds so much contrast and like this different color to it that they're too saturated. Oh. And I'm like, it looks so, everyone thinks it looks good, but I'm like, I always apologize, but it looks so much better. I'm like, I need to re-edit the loop to match that TV or change those TV settings because it bothers me. Because yeah, you know, you'll have it calibrated, but then certain TV screens aren't, and now the color looks weird. And
so you are your own quality control, and that's amazing. I think that's how we all should be, especially when we treat or we work with high quality, high level clients. It's like maybe the client will never notice, but if I notice, that is a problem if I don't fix it. I
texted a client yesterday. They did a session here. They're one of our new members, and you know, we cut up all their stuff, send it to them. I sent them a text. I'm like, hey, this episode, my guy missed this, but your guess is slightly out of focus. I was like, look, on the phone, you're probably not going to see it. Computer, you're not going to see it. But it bugs the crap out of me. I just want to apologize. I was like, you probably would never notice. I was like, but look, I know you're not going to want to reshoot this, and it's fine. Like it can be put out there. It's not horribly out of focus. I was like, but we're not counting this session. I'm not counting this. So I'm gonna give you another session so that way you get an extra session this month. And then he like came to my event last night too. He was like, dude, I've watched it like 20 times. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Good.
It's fine. He's like, I'm glad it bugs you because like you're on top of it. But I was like, but seriously though, like we're going to do another one because that's not my standard. And I'm like, once again, on your phone, you're never going to notice it, but I know it's there and it bugs the crap out of me so much.
Yeah. And good for you because you need to provide the quality that you're offering, right? So, and you are able to notice that. And maybe nobody else will notice, but if you do, it's like it's time to fix it, and it's also very good customer service.
Yeah, that's what we try to do. You know, it's like, but yeah, and I'm sure there's probably tons of stuff like that you see, and you're like, oh my gosh, and the client's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they don't notice. And you know, the other day I posted a story of me fixing somebody's outfit because it was something like this, and her shoulders look like this. You know, in photography, we can do this so they look relaxed. And another photographer said, oh, the client is never going to notice. And I'm like, but I do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to fix it.
Well, so it's funny. I've redone the lighting in here probably, in this room specifically, probably 6 times.
Oh my goodness.
And it's funny because every time I do it, like a client will come in that uses this room a lot and they're like, it's all different, huh? And I'm like, yeah. And then they sit down. They don't see the difference on camera. Like, it looked amazing before. I'm like, trust me, it looks better now. Like, I promise you. But they can't, they don't know. They can't see. Well, it's the same thing too. Like when we talk about our industry, right? Like, yes, it's important to worry about the quality, but it's also like clients don't see these things. They do, but they don't.
And they don't have to because you are the expert.
Yeah.
They don't have to see it. You have to see
and
it.
It's funny because my guy was like, the guy who works here was like, why do you keep redoing it? Like the clients love it already. I'm like, yeah, but I'm unhappy. And I was like, and there's a standard I want in our studio for lighting, and I'm going to keep redoing it until we get there. And then I'll probably redo it 20 more times.
And that's okay.
And like, yeah, it's just one of those things that like, you know, you want it to be the best, like, especially when it comes to light. Like the other day in the room, we were doing something and our client will never notice it and they'll never see it. And I hope they don't ever watch this because then they will see it. But I made it, as soon as they were done, I like literally went in that room and I changed everything. I was like, because there's just a little bit of like, from this lamp we had that was coming in the back, and because he had a collared shirt on, there's just this tiny faint line. And the whole time I just sat there staring at it, but I knew it wasn't worth disrupting their interview and disrupting the flow of the interview, because like to them, like it doesn't make a difference at all. And
I can totally see you doing this. Stop the recording.
I wanted to, but I was like, I've learned that like that's not worth it to like disrupt the flow. If it was something big, like and it looked really bad, I'd stop it. But seriously, the whole time I just stared at that line on his neck, like because I was doing his session, and as soon as he got out there, I was like, turn this, turn that.
There you go. Let's fix it.
Like, I don't ever want to look at that again.
And I want to thank you in behalf of all the women that come to your studio. And the reason is because the lighting is so good. It makes you look young and not, natural, yes. But there is this thing that whenever you have women and they have the dark lighting, we do look older. And we do not like looking older, okay? So especially whenever you're like, you have a monitor and you're looking at yourself in a monitor and you're like, oh, is that me? Oh my God, no. Then your confidence absolutely goes down. So thank you for so much lighting. I love this.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things, like we get this a lot in the studio, especially from women. And a majority of our clients actually are women.
Okay.
And they sit down, the first thing they do when they look at the monitor, they're like, oh my gosh, I look so good in this light. This is amazing.
I love it.
And because you know how it is, right? If you feel good about the way you look, you feel more comfortable. And in photos, it translates just like in video. Like if you feel like you look like trash and you're trying to create content for your business, it's gonna feel like you look like trash.
And you're probably not going to use it.
But if you sit down, once again, they don't know anything about lighting, but they sit down, they see themselves like, oh my gosh. And then they always say the same, can I take this lighting with me home?
Right? I'll carry it around all over the place.
Yeah. And one of the women that filmed her actually, like when we set this light up, she was like, why did you put a light there? And I was like, let me just show you. Full screen it, shut it off. And she's like, and I put her back around. She's like, yeah, we like that light. Leave it on. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yes, we do.
But then my struggle is, because the space isn't huge, is how do I make sure the light doesn't end up over here as much? And that's my big thing, because I want big light, because I want the really soft look for everybody. Right. And I have to set it up so 4 people at once look beautiful, no matter what angle and no matter what direction they look. But I'm trying to avoid as much spill as possible. We've done a decent job, but it's still like, and it's funny because like nobody else is ever going to see it, but me, I just stare at the spill all day. I'm like, how do I get rid of you? Do I put sheets up around everything?
That
I was like, I might do this actually. And I know this conversation right now, only photographers and other video people will get it. So sorry for the...
This is what photographers don't talk about in public, okay? We're putting it out there.
I might cut this out because it might be boring for the business owners, but I am actually thinking about getting... black sheets and hanging them up over here and then cutting a hole for the cameras and then basically just cutting off all the spill and then just putting a hole in the camera, and then that way the spill doesn't get over there. It'll look weird.
It
might suck for like people might walk in and be like, what the heck? And I'm like, just
bear with me.
So I'm trying to avoid that if I can avoid it. But I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, using a black sheet and cut a hole for the camera. And then there'll be a little bit of spill here. But that we can't avoid because this is like to light these people up. And, But that one actually is the least noticeable. But anyways.
But that grid helps a lot. The grids are perfect for the spill.
Yeah, it helps. And then most studios, like for podcasting, they use really small soft boxes and far away. And I'm just like, give me as big as possible and get it as close as possible. How can I make it so I basically want to block your view. I've been thinking about it. I'll probably cut all this just because this is us just talking. I've been thinking about getting this light literally like in front of the person.
Oh.
And then just high enough that like you barely see
it. Looks so bad.
I was like, they're going to hate it, but it's going to be so beautiful. But I'm like, okay, how do I avoid that and still get it like what I want? But anyways, back to business and entrepreneurship. What's been your favorite thing about entrepreneurship and growing your business?
I think reaching my goals. Sometimes the way to get there sucks. It really does. But reaching my goals and also connecting with people, because I feel that that is a superpower all humans have, but not all of us use it. And it's very important to get to know people and really like this, like the human connection. To me, that's the most important thing about my business.
What's your least favorite thing about entrepreneurship?
I think, do I have a list? I'm thinking. Put like a little question mark here. I don't think I have a non-favorite thing. I mean, some people will say that it's lonely, and I will say you just haven't find the right group. I haven't feel lonely. As a matter of fact, every time I start feeling lonely, I'm like, I reach out to one of my entrepreneurial friends, and I'm like, so, but not really. I mean, it's been good for me. Maybe the moments that I doubt myself, maybe that. Because it happens, we all have these moments. I'm a very optimistic person. I don't have negative thoughts very often, but there is some times that I'm like, can I really do this? Who am I to be doing this? Like, or, this person is more successful, and I'm like, but I am here just being a small business. But then I'm like, you know what? The thing is that I have my own TED Talk to myself sometimes. I'm like, Jackie, hold on a second. Look back. Look how many things you've done. Maybe you are not where you have to be, but you're getting places, and you're further, and you are successful in your very own way, and you're successful in your very own world. And so I come down, I'm like, okay, let's keep pushing. So that's probably the least things that I don't really adore, that part of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and I think you're not alone there, right? I know myself too. There's so many nights I sit in here alone late night, and I'm like, I can't do this. Why did I do this? This is dumb. I loved my lifestyle before. I loved what I was doing. Why did I? And I'm like, everybody else is successful. I can't be successful. I don't know how, and you beat yourself up so much. And I definitely feel that what you were saying earlier, how you don't feel lonely. I definitely feel lonely in entrepreneurship, which is actually kind of the basis of the podcast. I talk about this almost every episode, but like the whole point of Built in Vegas is to connect entrepreneurs and let them know that they're not alone with the struggles that they face, that they're not the only ones that feel like they suck or that have the self-doubt. Because if you look at social media, everyone's all like, I'm winning, I'm great, I'm amazing, look at me. And nobody's too real on there about like what they're really struggling with. And so as an entrepreneur, oftentimes we feel like everybody's killing it and has no problems, and I'm over here struggling every day trying to figure out how I'm going to do this,
Well, you're comparing yourself with somebody that might not be real. And as you said, this is magical what we're doing right now, because you get to know the real human, right? And I feel that because of what I do with photography and the way I do it, I've been able to see the most not fun parts of entrepreneurship in some other people, to the point that I have this story, and she knows this story. Her name is Helene Neville. She's a runner, a marathon runner. And she ran across the country, Hawaii, Canada. So she's done big things. And to me, in my eyes, I'm like, that's a superwoman. She's a 4 times cancer survivor. So she has so many things against her in order not to accomplish things. But then one day I went to one of her runs to photograph her. It was here on the strip. One day she decided to run the strip. I'm like, I will be there. And she just went into her knees and she said, I cannot do this. And I got to see that human, you know, and instead of me saying, you know, oh my God, this is disappointing, to me it was like, you're very inspiring. You know, you inspire me even more, because she's like, I cannot do this, I cannot do this. And then she got up and said, and then she's just like, I can do it. And she finished her run. But to me, it was very inspiring. And it was a moment that I'm like, you know, all these people that we admire, they're real people. They do have moments when they want to give up, but we don't see them most of the time. But in my little world with all my entrepreneur friends, we do call each other and we do say, what should I do? Because this sucks right now and I don't know what to do. And we are there to help each other. And I feel that because of this, I want to call it ecosystem that I created around me, has been very magical and helped me a lot. And I'm so glad that you're doing that too, because it's very important. And you are not going to feel lonely anymore, because once you feel lonely, you can always call a friend and say, should I cry or should I celebrate, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've been working on this year is actually I've been cultivating this small friend group of entrepreneurs. Most of them are clients. Most of them are clients that come through and I'm like, dude, you're killing it. I love your perspective. You want to give back. I'm putting together a small group. I'd love for you to come out and we just get together. It's like an AA meeting for entrepreneurs, right? Where we just go around, you know, some people cry during it because they like start voicing what they're really scared of or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we have people along every journey now. And we had a meeting last night and it was cool. Like we ended up barely talking about anything business. I connected 2 people together. And then they kind of took over the conversation, but everyone was interested in their conversation. It was a lot of like science and peptides and whatever. And it was an interesting conversation. But near the end of it, they brought up something there, and like those 2 and a few of the other people were like, dude, the place that you're building is so magical. Like the quality's so good. I love coming here. The price point is perfect. Like it's so cheap. You know, it's actually, you should charge more. And I'm like, oh, I'll charge you more then, right? Like, thanks. But like, it's like, dude, I love coming here. Like what you're doing is magical. And it's like being around people and actually hearing that. It's like, dude, like, thank you. Like, I was like, cause I normally just sit in the studio thinking I suck and nobody likes our place. So to hear that and be around a group where I can go to them and be like, hey, you know, and it is a little bit different because they're clients. I try not to be I'm pretty vulnerable in it, but I also don't want to be like, we're failing, you know, like, like I don't know what to do. Like we're not like that. But like I also want to make sure that because they're clients, they're not all clients, but most of them are. Like I also safeguard a little bit of what I talk about. But it is a very open space, and it's been really nice because I get to like be like, how do I get more clients? And they're like, oh, well, we could just recommend more people to your space. I'm like, oh, that'd be great, thanks.
Yeah.
But then they get there to talk about their opinions and what they're struggling with, and then I know so many people that's like, oh, you're struggling with this. Like, let me reach out to so-and-so because they've dealt with that or they know this. And so it's been a good little group. Like
Good.
But I know that a lot of people out there don't have that. I didn't have that for 18 years of entrepreneurship. I'm just barely building this little ecosystem.
But let me ask you this. Did you allow yourself to do that before? To build this network?
No, because for me, it was like time. I mean, I still don't have time, but I'm making it a priority. But I didn't see the value of it. I was like, oh, I don't need anybody. And then opening up like a brick and mortar location, I'm like, I need people. I don't know what I'm doing, you know? And like, this is a bigger risk. It's a bigger ask. You know, I got people who depend on me now for money and work here. Like, and so it's like, okay, bigger responsibilities. Like I need to learn how to do this. What better way than from people that have 100 employees, you know, or whatever. So it's been really cool. And that's kind of like, once again, like my podcast, I sat for a while trying to figure out what do we want this to be? Because I didn't want to do one that was just like, that I'm not into. I filmed so many other episodes. I'm like, I just don't like this. Like I'm being so disingenuous. And it's just like, oh, tell me this. Like, cause I'm trying to do it for the business. And I was like, well, let's create something that like could help younger me. Like what stories of entrepreneurship could help somebody where I was 10 years ago or where I currently am. Cause I don't know everything.
Still working on it.
Yeah. I'm trying to build a business. And so what could help me build my business? What conversations could really help me figure out what kind of entrepreneur I want to be? You know, and I want to bring on some resources too, like grant writers and stuff like that too. So it's a resource for entrepreneurs.
That's very interesting. And I think that one thing that entrepreneurs should pay attention to is networking and doing it in the right way, obviously. You don't go to network just to get business. You go to network to meet people and really connect. So you just mentioned now you're working in networking and getting to meet new people through a podcast, which is such an easy way, I feel, you know, like because it could be a conversation. You don't have to learn anything. You just say what comes to your mind, and that's it. But I feel that a lot of people, and I met some women specifically that way, that they're like, oh, I don't have time to network, or my business is so busy, I don't need to network. I'm like, okay, well, you do you. But to me, this is just probably a very personal thing. But I'm like, because of me being so friendly and going out like, oh, let's be friends, you know, connecting with somebody maybe through dance, because I dance too, through dance 10 years ago, has brought so many great opportunities to my business now. Maybe not right away, but I cultivated that relationship so naturally and organic that now is bringing so many great things. And I can talk about my friend Caroline. She's Caroline. She's actually the one in that photo, the black hair with the black and white shirt. She is a realtor, and I met her 15 years ago in Zumba. And she's such a light, you know, and we've been doing things together, but because of that relationship, they're just being friends, you know, and you can reach out to a friend to say, hey, friend, can we do this? And every time I ask her to do something, she's like, let's do it, you know, and it's very magical because people start trusting you. So I feel that people that believe that networking is a waste of time, they should prioritize it, because you never know what's going to happen next in your life. It could be something personal. It could be something from your business. So I'm fully booked, let's say, and I'm like, I don't need to network because I'm fully booked. But what happened to the days that you are not fully booked? What happened to people in COVID? Thanks to my network, I was able to survive through that. Thanks to the friendships that I actually, and I have to say thank you to the person that rents me the studio, because our friendship, she's like, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out. So I paid her with photos for her studio because she needed to put out the studio and to rent it. And I'm like, I cannot pay rent because I have 0 clients, I cannot open my doors. How about we do this? And she's like, let's do it. But it's that relationship I created with her throughout the years that maybe didn't help me right away. Of course, she opened the doors for me to have a studio, but at the same time, it was not right away. But that moment helped me a lot, that I survived. A lot of studios closed down.
Yeah. Business is built on relationships.
It's built on relationships.
And networking, I'm one of those people that say networking is a waste of time.
Oh my God, I saw a video that you see.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you out.
Because I say networking is a waste of time, not because networking is a waste of time. I don't like it because I'm not as outgoing, and it's like such a big struggle for me to like get the confidence to go interrupt a group. I like connecting with people, and we actually host our own networking events, and I love them because people come up and talk to me because I'm the guy hosting it, and so I don't have to like go out of my way to be like, oh hey, like I'm Trevin, what's up? Like I feel really awkward doing it. So I don't think networking is a waste of time at all. I think it's an incredible tool. You have to find the right events. There's so many crappy events out there. And then also you have to do it the right way, like you said. And when I was younger, I did it the wrong way because I went in there like, I need to get a client tonight, right? And it's like, I'm just trying to pitch people, and that's a horrible way to network.
Yes.
Right? And so, but yeah, I do a lot of content where I'm like, it seems like I'm anti-networking, but I'm not. I'm just...
Yeah. Because you're doing it here. So
well, and for me, like the whole point of networking is to like meet a couple of people, build relationships with them, and get that one-on-one conversation to then further a relationship. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm like, if I just invite people on the podcast, I can get that one-on-one conversation. And then I'll see if I like them. And if I want to continue that conversation, because there's some people I've brought on.
So if you don't like somebody, you're like, okay, we're cutting right now.
Yeah.
Conversation is over.
So to be honest, this was before we were like actually dropping episodes. It was like more like, so I did like 3 podcasts for a while, different names. And it was meant just to meet people. And we would give them the content afterwards, right? So they could use it however they want. But I didn't post a single clip.
Oh.
And it generated revenue for us, right? Because I'm a big fan of like, you podcast to meet people and build relationships, not for the content.
Correct.
The content is just a bonus, a very valuable bonus when you do it right. But if you are like a B2B type of business, you sell a professional service, podcasting can literally generate so much revenue for you from the relationships you build that screw the content. You don't even need to post an episode. And I've proven that. Like I've generated, a decent amount of revenue through podcasting without posting the clips and not doing anything else. But dude, we had somebody come in once and like I interviewed her and like 3 minutes into the conversation, I was like, dude, this is horrible.
You're like,
well, I was just like, you don't know what you provide. Like, she does marketing. And like the podcast was called The Truth About Marketing and we're trying to post it, but not really. But like literally 5 minutes into it, I was like, you know nothing. I was like, I don't even want to have this conversation. So I think we filmed for 15 minutes. I made sure to get something so there was still value in for her. Like, let me just try to clip farm for you at this point. But I'm not interested in continuing this conversation because I can't refer people to you. And I don't really want to work with you because I'll have a hard time biting my tongue that I think you are really bad at what you do. And I don't want your clients in here because I will struggle to not speak badly about you, but I hate bad marketers. And there's so many of them that I can't be around the people that I think do such a bad job because I think they're just screwing their clients and taking their money. And I have such like a bad taste in my mouth for businesses like that. And so, like we were like 15 minutes and I was like, all right, cool. Though. Thanks for coming out. Like, here's your content. Like, because,
bye.
Well, and other people like they're cool, but maybe we don't have the right vibe together. And it's like, oh, this was a cool conversation, but now I know I don't really want to pursue a relationship with you now. Right. Like it's not the right fit, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because we're not.
You're not for everyone.
Yeah, we're not for everyone, and that's okay. So we're trying to find our people. So I like podcasting for networking way more.
But hold on, let me just go back to that because I feel that people think that networking are events, networking events. Wrong. Networking is not networking events where you have to pay for to belong. Networking is getting to meet people, and you can do that anywhere. Sometimes I just grab my laptop and go sit at a cafe, and then I start a conversation with somebody sitting by me. And I booked a session just by doing that in Tacotarian, by the way. Shout out, Regina. I feel that it is just really getting to connect. That is networking too.
Yeah.
Going into an elevator, instead of getting in your phone, talk to the person. And you don't have to talk business. You don't have to say, oh, by the way, I'm a photographer and I can take your headshots. That's terrible. That sounds very salesy. Don't do it. I do not recommend. I've been through that and I did not like it. But I feel that it's just really getting to talk to people. And if you put yourself in the position where like, you know what, instead of working here today, I'm just going to go work somewhere else. Let's say, I don't know, I don't want to say brands, but okay, let's say a cafe, right?
Say Mothership. They're local.
And they're cool. So let's Mothership.
They've been in the studio before, so we can say their name.
Mothership, by the way, the hibiscus tea is really good.
They have a good breakfast sandwich. Oh
my God, I'm getting hungry.
They have a good sandwich, actually. Yeah.
Oh, well, they have good stuff. Plus, the place is really cute, so Instagrammable. But so let's say that you go there. Instead of burying yourself in the computer on your phone, just kind of try to make eye contact with somebody, and it doesn't have to be a long conversation. It could be something very simple. And from there, take it from there and see how it goes, you know?
But my question is, or my thought on that is, it's probably easier for a woman to do that. I feel like if I'm doing it, some girls gonna think I'm trying to hit on them or something.
Well, we get that too from men, but that is their problem, you know? Like sometimes I'm talking and they're like, oh, how about we go out kind of on a date? And I'm like, oh, you're so cute.
See, but I feel like if I was in
married.
a coffee shop and like trying to make eye contact with a girl, she'd be like, oh, this weirdo.
Well, depends.
Right?
Depends on how you
I'm
make
over here like
contact.
I'm over here like this. Hey,
if you're
what are you
looking
doing
at
here?
the lighting, like,
yeah, if I'm just like staring at you, like eating my sandwich, just like,
that'll be creepy.
what
I'll
do you,
probably call
hey,
them.
what do you do? You see, and I probably do be weird like that too.
It really depends.
I'll get the cops called on
hold
me.
Rewind and delete. Don't make eye contact, okay? Because that will be weird. But you can always just, I don't know, start a conversation. Don't make eye contact, especially not like that.
And I think networking, once again, like you said, right, is don't focus on the sell.
Right.
Focus on the human. Focus on making friends, building relationships, you know, being non-transactional.
Yes.
And that will build. That's one thing, like with the studio, like put a really strong emphasis on of like, we're here to build community. We're here to be friends to people, connect people, and not push anything at all. Like, and if people want to use their studio, cool. Like, obviously we have to do sales, but like, we want to be as non-pushy and as non-salesy as possible. Like, I spoke at an event for the Women's Entrepreneur Chamber, and I got done talking for 40 minutes, just answering questions for them about like entrepreneurship in general, giving them advice. Like, I want it to be like actionable items that you guys are struggling with right now. Like, I don't like to do like presentations. I like Q&A. I get done and they're like, wait, what do you do?
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, I own a
By the way.
podcast studio. If you guys ever want to shoot content, I guess like we're here, but like, don't worry, like whatever. And then they actually asked me to come back to speak for like 2 hours. And then we did the same thing, just Q&As. And actually we just did a meetup the other night and same thing happened. We like did a Q&A, and then like during the Q&A, because like a podcast 101. So like what questions do you guys have about creating content, doing this on your own? You know, what questions, whatever questions you guys have about like kind of anything related, like let's dive into it. Yeah. And they're like, what do you charge? And I was like, I'm not pitching here.
That.
I was like, I mean, I'll tell you guys, but like, this isn't a pitch for the studio. I always tell people when they come through, like, look, I don't care if you use our studio, you use a different studio, you film at home with your potato camera. I don't care what it is. I just care that you do it because it can change your business. Now, is it better to be in a studio?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look, having a photo for a headshot with your iPhone is better than no photo.
Right.
Right? Like if I get...
Well, the AI, I told you the AI. You're like, no,
I don't like the AI,
AI
still. I think a cell phone photo is better than
more
the AI.
realistic, yeah.
But like, because if I get a friend request and there's no headshot, then I'm like, oh, what's this spam account? Like, that's weird. Right? So something is better than nothing.
Yes.
But having a professional quality headshot that really represents you and makes you look and feel successful, makes you feel like somebody that they should get to know and should talk to, is a lot better than your potato photo.
Potato.
Right?
Photo.
It just immediately is better. And so same thing with like when it comes to filming content. Like,
Well, hold on. What do you have against potatoes?
I don't know. I eat a lot of them, as you can tell. Okay, I eat a lot of French fries.
I don't love potatoes, but you were like the potato phone, the potato.
Yeah, well, because that's like a saying, like, you know, like, was this shot on a potato? That's like a saying, like, because it's like crappy
really?
image.
Oh, sorry, I'm Guatemalan, mi español salió a reducir.
Yeah, patata.
La patata.
How do you say it in Spanish?
We say, how do we say? How to say? But hold on, papa.
Papa. Yeah,
We
because
say,
papa
but,
fritas.
It's patata for some countries. Yes,
Yeah,
but for us, it's
because
papa.
in Portuguese it'd be, I think, batata or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know.
There you go.
I don't even remember.
Squirrel.
Well, they don't really eat potatoes in Brazil.
No, that's why they look
Not
so
really.
good. No carbs. That's exactly why.
One time I was out there, and this is a random side note, but whatever. That's why the nice thing about podcasting. But I was in Brazil and eating dinner with a family, right? And they had this big plate of mashed potatoes. I was like, oh, that's so yummy. Like, yeah, give me some mashed potatoes. So I fill up my plate with mashed potatoes, right? I go to eat it. Flavorless freaking goop. It's not mashed potatoes. It's from this thing. It's called angu. And it's just like the most flavorless thing in the world. And I thought it was, and it looks just like mashed potatoes, but it's not.
You were young.
And I had a whole plate full, and I'm like eating this. Like, now I got to eat this
but
whole.
What is it? Is it a root? What is it?
It's a root. I forgot what it is in English because we have it, but like it doesn't get used much here. And then they beat it and turn it basically into mashed potatoes.
Oh.
And once again, it looks just like it, but there's no flavor. It's so disgusting.
It's a flavorless something.
And I had this giant plate, folks. I was like, it's like almost like American food.
Oh, no.
Which food in Brazil is amazing. And I lived in the state of Minas Gerais with the best food of Brazil. Like you ask any Brazilian, where's the best food in Brazil? They'll tell you.
Are you from
Minas.
Brazil? Born
No, I lived there for 2 years as a missionary.
Oh, okay.
And, but yeah, it was so gross. Anyways, that's besides the point. So you have an event coming up. Let's talk about the event. When is it? What's going on?
Okay, so this is the second year that we have the campaign, and we, as I mentioned before, we're turning it into something bigger. But this year we're gonna close with a cocktail party, which is an art gallery, and it's a book. My English, help me out. A book lounge. We're doing the book lounge for the campaign. And we're doing an immersive experience where people can come, mingle, connect with others, but at the same time, they can create some amazing content for the event. Last year, we did it in Via Brazil, and this year, I'm bringing it to my studio. So we're gonna have the courtyard and the whole building. You haven't been to my studio yet. You should come one day. I'll do your headshots.
Let's do it.
So we are going to have a lot of surprises. Last year was very, very successful. People couldn't stop talking about the event. And I feel that it not only brought joy to me as the organizer, but also to all the people that got to connect and to meet new people. And when I talk about new people, it's like I am surrounded by the most beautiful and supportive people in the world. And I'm telling you that because my friends, and I call them now my friends, but all of them are amazing. And they are always open to collaborations. They're always open to help. And going back to the world I created around me. And that's why, I can put these events where people are just, the energy in the room. You can tell that everyone is willing to be there and willing to connect. So October 11th at 4 p.m., my studio's in Henderson, 2510 Anthem Village. I have tomorrow, well, I don't know when this is coming out, but tomorrow, August 15, we're going to have the tickets out for sale, in pre-sale for $55. And then they go up in September 10th. And at the door is $95. And the book is also in pre-sale. So if you get it before the event, you get it at a better price. The book is all about the 25 women, and these are stories of resilience. And I know there's other books of women's stories of resilience and all that stuff. But first of all, the women that I selected, that me and my team selected, are amazing, have a wonderful story. And of course, we have beautiful photography that you get to see in the book and also in our gallery.
Awesome. I love it. I'm excited to go. I'll be there. As long as I'm not my son's hockey tournament. I got to check his hockey schedule.
Ooh, hockey.
If we're not out of town, I'll be there.
Okay.
Because it'll be fun.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for coming in today. Where can people find out more information about the event and your photography? Well,
we have a page, an Instagram page that is called She Means Business Mag. And that is on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok too. We are really pushing TikTok as well. My personal, it's really fun. My personal Instagram is a photographer who dances, separated by underscores. And of course, my website, www.JackelyneAndrea.com. And I am very active in social media, so you will see me there. And I would love to connect to whoever sees this podcast. I would love to connect.
Awesome. Thank you again.
Thank you.